Hey everyone, this is CyberKai, and in today's episode we're going to be talking about 8570 and how to make it work for you. Hey guys, if you'd like to see more content like this, please consider hitting the like, subscribe, bell notification, and there's a link to my Patreon in the description below. So really, all you have to do to make the 8570 work for you is to treat it like a checklist. Go on Indeed, go to a job searching website. Once you go to these types of websites and you make a list of the 50 types of employers, the 50 employers that are seeking candidates in that area, in your position that you're seeking, like an ISSO, ISSM, network engineer job, help desk technician, wherever, even if it's your first job. What they're going to do is they're going to post those basic requirements. You're going to write them down on a list of, okay, it looks like these 50 employees are all looking for these top 10 skills, these top 5 certs, whatever it is. Top 1 cert. Maybe they all just want Security Plus and a CCNA. Or they want a Juniper cert. Whatever it is, all you have to do is write out that list, find out what people are looking for, then pursue those things. And then when you come into that technical interview, you might say, hey, I'm just getting started on IT. I'm looking for that initial IT entry-level position. I understand networking. I understand server administration. I understand the basics of security because I have a CompTIA Security Plus, whatever it is. And I'm looking to get started. I'm willing to learn. Most employers, if they know you're starting out in a new job, they just want to know, can they teach you? Are you willing to learn? If you're willing to learn, you're willing to work with others, and you're willing to be a team player and not necessarily be a yes man, but just be a positive influence in their environment and add a good note to their work culture, that's what they really want to see. Because if they can teach you something, they know, hey, you might come into the job not knowing very much, or you might only understand the basics, let's say the CCNA, when really they want more like BGP experience or something like that. But you know what? I'm pretty sure I can teach you most of that BGP stuff in a week. Especially if you're willing to go home and learn it overnight. And so people who are enthusiastic about the profession, people who are enthusiastic about learning new things, accepting challenges, learning new responsibilities, being a team member, and really contributing to those around them, that's what people are really looking for in the IT industry if you're just starting out. And if you can articulate those things to an employer, oh man, you won't have a hard time finding that first IT position. How can I make 8570 work for me compared to working on the civilian sector of the IT community? If you want to work in the civilian IT sector of the community, you'll notice that they have a lot of soft skill requirements. A lot of civilian IT jobs will say, we want you to have these different things, such as skills that they describe, and they do describe it in like a paragraph, but they don't state how you can demonstrate those skills without having some kind of long track record of history. It's very difficult to demonstrate to an employer that you have the skills that they're looking for, especially if you're bad at those interviews. If you are a quiet person, if you're not an outspoken, if you're not confident in the way that you speak, you're going to have it can be very difficult to find good IT employment just on that social awkward interview, just your verbal skills, which doesn't really seem fair to a lot of people. Because you could be brilliant technically, but if you're not good speaking, then if you don't speak so well, Misa thinks a user thinks and not skits a jobs. God, doesn't everyone hate Jar Jar? Anyway, so the way to make the 8041 and the 8570, the 8041 is what replaced the 8570. You view it as a checklist. You say, okay, so I want to have this IT career. I want to be an ISSO. I want to be an ISSM. What are those things? To get those professions, they say, hey, you need to have this many years of experience. You need to have done these things, and then to have demonstrated you've done those things, you need to meet those certifications, which sounds like it's more of a challenge, but I think it's easier. And the reason why I think that is because you don't have to have a super long conversation with somebody describing all the different variables of things that you've done. Instead, you can just say, nah, man, I'm an XYZ cert. I have this cert, I have these, and I have 10 years experience doing this in the industry. And then from there, they usually ask you a couple of technical questions, and they don't use them usually as gotcha questions. Normally they just want to see how you would specifically handle some aspect of troubleshooting or some kind of incident, or how you would just deal with a customer or a coworker in a particular situation. And those are all fine questions. They ask those questions to get a better feel of how you are as an employee, a customer, a technician, a manager, etc. And it really does make the interviewing process go much smoother when you say, hey, I have XYZ certification. I'm a CCNA. I'm a Security Plus CCNA, and I've been doing network engineering for 5-10 years. And you go, okay, so you're a CCNA, you're doing it for 10 years. Do you have any thoughts about your CCNP? And if you were to notice an outage or a degradation at some kind on a customer network, how would you go about troubleshooting that? Explain what your first troubleshooting steps would be. Then based on your answer, they'd ask more in-depth protocol questions or more technical questions to see if you really know your stuff. It really does help the interview process go much smoother.